You destroyed me, Daniel. Ethan's voice cracked as he slammed his fists against the polished oak boardroom table. His once perfect hair was disheveled, his tie crooked, sweat dripping down his forehead. Across from him, I sat calmly, hands folded, while federal agents stood by the door waiting to escort him out. You set me up, didn't you? He growled, his eyes wild. You told them everything. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the man who used to be my best friend, the man who betrayed me, stole my company, and nearly ruined my life. No, Ethan, I said coldly. You destroyed yourself. I just made sure everyone saw the truth. But to understand how we got here, I need to take you back to the beginning. But hi, I'm Daniel, and today I'm going to tell you how my best friend and business partner betrayed me, stole everything I built, and how I took it all back piece by piece. But before I begin, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy stories of betrayal, revenge, and ultimate justice. 4 years ago, my life was almost perfect. I was 32, running a rapidly growing software company in Austin, Texas. We had just landed a deal with a Fortune 500 client. My penthouse overlooked the city skyline. I had my dream car, a Tesla Model S, and I was engaged to Emily, a woman I thought loved me unconditionally. And by my side, every step of the way, was Ethan, my best friend since college. We met in freshman year, two broke kids with big dreams. Nights spent coding until sunrise, living off ramen noodles, sharing ideas about changing the world. Ethan was brilliant, charming, the kind of guy who could talk his way into any room. Me, I was the builder, the quiet one. Together we made the perfect team, or so I believed. The cracks began small. Ethan started suggesting we bring in new advisors, men in expensive suits, who whispered in his ear but barely acknowledged me when I questioned it. Ethan brushed me off. Relax, Danny. They're here to help us scale. You focus on the product, I'll handle the business side. Then money started disappearing. At first, a few $100s from the company account, then thousands. I confronted Ethan one night in the office. Ethan, we're missing $20,000 from last quarter's funds. Where did it go? He didn't even flinch, just smirked and said, business development. You wouldn't understand. You're the coder, I'm the closer, trust me. And I did, because he was my best friend. Everything fell apart after a 2-week trip to San Francisco. I'd gone to pitch new investors. The meetings went well and I came home excited to share the news. But when I swiped my card at the office door, the light flashed red, denied. Security stopped me and said my access was revoked. Confused and furious, I demanded answers. And that's when I saw him, Ethan, walking down the lobby stairs, in a custom suit I'd never seen before, with Emily, my fiancée, at his side. Her hand rested gently on his arm. Daniel, Ethan said smoothly, with a smirk that made my blood boil. Your services are no longer required. The board voted you out. My jaw tightened. My company, you can't vote me out. I built this. He handed me a folder. Inside were signed contracts, transfer agreements, board resolutions even. My own signature giving up my controlling shares. I never signed this, I whispered, my hands trembling. Ethan's grin widened. But your signature says otherwise. And Emily witnessed it. I turned to her, desperate. Emily, tell me this isn't real. She looked down, unable to meet my eyes. My chest caved in. My best friend and the woman I loved had just betrayed me together. You forged my signature, I muttered. It's not personal, Danny, Ethan said, his voice dripping with arrogance. It's just business. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Walk away quietly, and maybe I'll let you keep something. That night, I sat in a cheap motel room, staring at the ceiling. My entire world was gone. My company, my fiancé, my best friend. I wanted to give up, but then I remembered my father's words. When someone betrays you, don't cry, don't beg, get smart, get proof, and then get even. So I did. I hired Carter, a private investigator, a former cop, tough as nails and sharp as a knife. His job, dig into Ethan's betrayal. Within weeks, Carter uncovered everything. Ethan hadn't just betrayed me, he'd stolen millions from the company, funneling it into offshore accounts. And Emily, she wasn't a bystander. She'd helped him falsify board documents, pretending I was present at meetings I never attended. Her text messages with Ethan made my stomach turn. Once Danny's gone, it'll all be ours. But Ethan, who had made a mistake, he was sloppy. The digital signatures, the fake timestamps, the offshore transfers all left trails. And Carter knew how to follow them. I stayed quiet, played defeated. I sent Ethan a congratulatory text. Proud of you, man. I just need time to process. He believed me. He thought he'd won. Meanwhile, I built my case, slowly, patiently. 6 months later, the company's annual shareholder meeting arrived. Ethan stood at the podium, his voice confident, his smile wide. Emily sat in the front row, glowing with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan announced, this has been the most profitable year in our history. The room erupted in applause, and then the doors opened. I walked in, not alone. Beside me were Carter and 2 federal agents. Ethan Carter, one agent said, flashing his badge. You are under investigation for securities fraud, wire fraud, and embezzlement. The room went dead silent. Ethan froze, his face pale. Emily's smile vanished instantly. This is a mistake, Ethan shouted as the agents cuffed him. Daniel, tell them we're partners. I stood calmly, my voice steady. We were, until you forged my name and stole from me. Now you're just another criminal in a suit. Emily tried to run after him, but one agent held her back. Not so fast, ma'am. We've got your text messages too. Her knees buckled. She collapsed in her chair, crying. The fallout was brutal. Ethan was sentenced to 14 years in federal prison. Emily struck a deal. She avoided prison but lost everything. No money, no reputation, no fiancé. Last I heard, she was working in a diner in Nevada. As for me, I reclaimed my company. The shareholders sided with me once the truth came out. Rebuilding wasn't easy, but my reputation as someone who fought back under pressure only made my business stronger. Clients respected me more than ever. And the best part, I now own the company outright. No Ethan, no Emily, just me, my loyal team, and a future I control. A year later I received a letter from prison. It was Ethan, pages of rambling excuses, blaming me, blaming Emily, blaming everyone but himself. I didn't even finish reading. I tossed it into a file my lawyer keeps, just in case he ever tries anything when he gets out. The funny thing is, if Ethan had just asked me for help, I would have given it. A loan, a job reference, a second chance. But instead, he chose lies, theft, and betrayal. And in the end, that choice destroyed him.